Hello, this is the first of our workshops for the portfolio. So this is your fourth year, because first year portfolio were also due to be in here, but they've moved elsewhere. But I think all of you are fourth year students. So we have 3 workshops leading up to Career Day. And this is all part of your fourth year portfolio. So I've grabbed hold of your portfolio module to try and help you think through your careers, plan a bit for your careers, and put some things into implementation, like your CVs. And today we've got Education First from Hong Kong to talk to you about interview skills. Okay, so when you go for your jobs, if you're anything like me, you might be really bad at interviews. But you don't know if you're bad until, and you don't know if you're good, unless you know what skills you need in your interview. So we've got somebody to come and talk to you today about interview skills. The next workshop after this is to talk to you about CV writing. So most of you should by now have drafted your CV or your resumes and uploaded them onto the hub or sent them through to your portfolio mentor. Do you all know who your mentor is? Yeah? Okay? No? If not, come and talk to me and I can tell you how to find that. But your portfolio mentor, if you go into the portfolio hub module, okay, and then you look at your profile, in your profile there'll be a group name. The group name is the name of your mentor. Okay? And that mentor is also in your group, so you can click on the name of your mentor in the group and send an email, okay, to communicate. But it's up to you to take the initiative to contact your mentor. Right? This is also in practice, trying to help you to practice looking for a job. Right? You have to take the initiative. So if your mentor hasn't contacted you and you don't get any grades for the portfolio, that's your problem. Okay? You must take the initiative to communicate. You must pick yourselves up and do this. Okay? All right. Because nobody's going to give you a job unless you do something about it. All right. So it's part of that practice. Practice communicating positively with your mentor. Okay, so send them the CV, ask for their feedback, make sure your CV is really, really polished, and then on the, when are we? The 10th, is it, am I right? 10th of April, we've got Alan Chan from a recruitment firm. He's the general manager there, coming to talk to you about CVs. Okay, and he'll also talk to you about jobs in recruitment companies. Great jobs for accounts. And then on the 16th, we have another workshop, and that's talking to you about impression management. How you carry yourself, how you socialize in business, business etiquette. How would, if you had an interview at a really nice restaurant, how would you behave? Okay. So we have a lovely, lovely lady called Gloria McComas, who's the general manager of her own management consulting firm. Beautiful, beautifully presented lady. And she'll come and talk to you about how to manage other people's impression of yourself, how do you carry yourself, dress yourself, how do you behave in social situations. Okay. So those are the 3 workshops. And then on the 24th of April, at the moment I have 17 companies coming to Career Day, which will be held in MAP 2 in the afternoon of the 24th. I think it's a Tuesday. Okay. So all come to that. Practice interview skills, practice how to pass over your CV, all these sorts of things, okay? And that's where we'll end. If you've got any questions for me about the portfolio or about Career Day, anything, come and talk to me after. There's a list of names going around. If you could sign your name off for attendance. I know some of you do have classes in the next couple of sessions, so that's fine. If you have classes, you have classes. You can't come to the workshop. But most of you should be able to come to most of the workshops. Okay? So I'll pass it over to Karen.
Good afternoon, student. Nice to meet you here. Let me introduce myself and our organization. My name is Caroline. I'm the representative and also the University Relations Manager of the organization EF Education. And today we also have our speaker who arrived, who is Mariano, and he is actually the Director of Recruitment and Admission. So he's very experienced in recruiting students, and he knows what to do, what to pay, what to select from a good CV and a good interview. So I pass the time to him.
Hello, good evening everyone. Can you hear me without microphone or should I speak with microphone? Maybe better, right? Okay. So sorry for my late, I was just surfing around different other campuses because I believe there are 3 buildings, so I was in the same school, so I was actually in the other building. Yes, as Kara said, I'm actually taking care of recruitment and admission for top 20 ranked business school in the US by The Economist. And it's quite important to go a little bit more into this kind of topic. It's kind of hot topic for fresh graduate students because I'm sure that most of you looking for a job already or maybe some internships. Did any of you already find any job opportunity or internship? Any of you? Raise your hand. Not yet? Okay, well that would be great. So we're going to have the right skills right now in order to make sure that we find the right directions. Alright, ready? Good. So we're going to talk about how you develop your skills and particularly on the interview technique styles. Looks like easy job. So, well, okay, I can do an interview. I've always done interviews with my professors or with different kind of association. But what we would like to stress is that looking for a job, looking for an internship has to be taken as a very professional step. It's kind of like, I used to say it's a job. It's an ongoing job till you find a real job. So it's very, very important to be as much professional as possible at this stage in order to make sure that the company you're applying for will take a good consideration of your profile. So here is the match. First of all is, okay, we need to understand which kind of job are you looking for. What's your ideal job? Maybe people want to become engineer, or maybe want to become marketing director of multinational companies. It really varies of your profile, what you're looking for. So it's very important to understand, to have a kind of objective. Okay, I need to aim for this particular job, I need to aim for this particular direction. So the direction has to be very straightforward. So, okay, now we have a goal. What do I need in order to get there? And which kind of skills I already have? So I already have something, I already have a base, but then of course I need to implement as much as possible in order to achieve what I need. Most important thing is some HR director of companies, they keep saying there is not always, if I look for a job, not always I manage to get that, even if I think I'm the best. Because maybe I'm not targeting to the right position or maybe to the right company. So we need to make sure that we target exactly what we are looking for. There is actually a very interesting process for the whole way in order to get what we need. Anyway, our skills and what we need to achieve in order to get recognized by such companies. How to develop our skills? First of all, it's important to understand what an employer is looking for. So it's not just about like what I am, but also like what they are looking for. There is an economist, one of the first economists, actually at that time was not even recognized as an economist. His name is Adam Smith. He was thinking about this theory of like sympathy. The meaning like you're not what you think you are, but mostly like what someone else is considering you. So it's kind of like you look at the mirror and you see yourself for the first time. Maybe there is something wrong compared to what you were thinking of yourself. So try to do this kind of exercise first. So you are what a company would like to see, mainly. So what the employer is looking at. Of course, education. Which school you're going to, which major you're graduating for, what you study in terms of like elective courses, mainly in terms of what's your preparations, what you study, what's your competencies. And then we go to the personal background. It's not just about studying, it's also about if you have some activity experience. It can be simple association, it can be a full-time, it can be part-time job. Welcome everyone. So it will be different according to different expectation. Language and communication skills. How many languages do you know? Right now, if you want to work for a multinational company, you might know more than 1 or 2 or even 3 languages. In our schools, most of the students on average know 3 to 4 different languages. Personality. Which kind of behavior would you have once you start working for our corporation? Cross-cultural abilities, or how able you are in order to interact with different people from different nationalities, from different backgrounds, different cultures. This is also actually very, very important. Experience abroad, other achievement and interest. So we'll see how to put them all together in order to have a global picture of your profile. But that's pretty much what the employer is looking at. Many things, yeah? The employer is looking at something. What do I got? How do I stress some particular potential of my profile in order to make the employer looking at my profile in a better details? And then maybe later on asking me for a job interview or asking me for a job position. So maybe you can say, well, they look at the education as we see it. So I have a strong academic background, good GPA, English, good student. It's actually quite important to have those kinds of skills, especially if you do not have a job experience. So if you don't have the experience, they might look at something different, more like on the academic side. Higher education. So usually right now everyone has an undergraduate degree. So we might look at trying to shape up our profile a little better and maybe going into a master. And then maybe after all, even an MBA or PhD, depending on what will be your direction. International degrees. Right now there are different of the schools, there are different programs we do with the same school, with the same university abroad. So there are definitely many chances for you to have international degrees, international experience. Work experience as well. If you might be able to find something overseas or even just like internship, that would be definitely a big plus. Excellent English skills. I mean, here it's just about English, but I believe that if you know what the language is put together, depending on which country would you like to work, that will be definitely relevant. So always try to understand what is relevant for your profile and put together in order to make sure that the employer looking at you in a different way, because not only you applying for the job, but maybe 300 people, 200 people, 10 people are applying for the same job. So we need to make sure that we have our competitive advantage. Like, when we look at company, why company is more successful with another one? Because maybe they have a competitive advantage compared to other companies. Because they are leaders. Maybe even they are followers, but they've been able to develop something more specific. Other languages, strong interpersonal skills. This is actually quite interesting point according to my position. It's all about how you manage yourself to put in an international environment and how are you able to communicate and to interact with other people. Why interesting? Because most of you will have a chance to work for big corporations, maybe even local, but they have strong channels overseas with different clients. So it's very important to identify yourself and try to say, okay, I'm capable to communicate with any kind of different culture. It takes time because you need to understand what other people is looking at. Language skills, body communication skills, a lot of different aspects which is important to know. So always think that there is a lot to learn from different cultures. And you can learn this by time. It's an ongoing process. I'm sure you're young, I'm sure there's a lot of details that maybe you won't really consider right now, but experience will give you the solutions. Specialists. Right now, companies looking for the knowledge. Because of course, when you will be starting for a company, you won't be a manager. So the manager of the company is looking for a particular knowledge. So maybe you're a specialist in the market, in a particular market. I'm especially in Macau market. Okay, there is a new product line they need to develop in Macau. I can do that. I know my population. I know clients. I know how to develop this particular product line, for example. So it's good to have a kind of specialization in depending on job situation you're looking at. And also it's good to make yourself again competitive and different than older students applying for the same position. Sometimes you don't say you have it inside, but you don't communicate to the employer. They will not know. They will not think about that. So please be easygoing. Say much about your story. It's about the story. What you are, what you will be, what you're going through. And it's good to mention all these important points. Of course, they don't want to know if you have, maybe at the very beginning, if you have sisters, brothers, all the personal information. But about your profile, about what you have, I think it's very important. How to get there? Okay, talk about skills. Education skills, okay, what do we have? And again, this is pretty much when we find a match. Okay, that's the employer, what is looking for. Then we see what is my competitive advantage. And here I try to match what the employer is looking with what I can offer. And at the same time, the most important part is that we need to know exactly which the industry we would like to find a job. There are so many different industries. You want to work in the pharmaceutical industry, you want to work in marketing, particular consulting for marketing products, consumer goods. There are a lot of different opportunities. And network. Of course, you need to know people as well. Maybe from the same company, maybe from other companies, so you can ask around what the situation looks like at the moment you are applying. Because as we will see later on, it's very important to understand as much as possible from the company point of view. Getting the job. It's about selling yourself. Some people, I attended some courses, some seminars in the lifetime career management, which we do at Holt International Business School as well. They say you have to, you are a product, you need to sell yourself. You are the input, a way to find, you come up with the output. So how to put yourself all together, especially because most of the time, companies, they don't want to see you at the very beginning. So, you're not going to send a picture, that's me. So it's more about having a good resume, have a good cover letter. So they know who you are. And if they are attracted by those 2 points, they might ask you to come to the office and have we can be a phone interview, it can be an in-person interview, it can be a questionnaire, then it really depends on the level of the corporations and at which level entrance you're looking at. So most of the time, if these two requirements are strong enough, and we can have different sections, different lecture for each of these, how to make a cover letter, how to make a resume. The most important thing right now, it's on the other step, which is an interview. So if those two requirements are really strong, then the company will invite you. So okay, let's have an interview. And over there is like when you need to close your deal. You need to demonstrate that what you're saying here is consistent and maybe emphasize on the best competitive advantage that you have in order to make sure that they choose you and not someone else. So here is quite important how to close a deal, interview and negotiation and contract as well. Even if you're young, and even if it's the first job, some people might think about, oh, this is my first job, I'm so desperate to get a job. I don't care about salary, I don't care about anything. Okay, we understand that. But it's good to show a kind of professionalism in that part. And it's good to understand what I can do for the company, which value I can bring to the company. At different level, it doesn't matter. You will definitely bring a level, a value. So it's important to position yourself to a certain point in which the company needs you, wants you. It's the same when you market a new product. Depends on the strategy. Some products, maybe they don't have high value, but they just want to get into the market. Or maybe it really depends on the timing. They say, okay, very low price, as long as everyone has it. So I create a movement. I think that like if we look at single product as individual, I think it's much better to position ourselves as much as we can. So the company can has the need that, okay, I need this person. So it's not that we have to go to the company. The company needs to come to us later on. Here is different. Here is that I need to go to let the company know that I exist. So please always remember the different stage. Here is like more passive. Here is like more active. It's me. I am the role player in this action. Interview. That's different parts. Interview is consisted of. And like before you go to interview, during the interview, and right after. We need to analyze each of those one by one. So we have a clear picture of what an interview means and how do we need to be prepared in order to have strong interview skills. As I said, it is a job. It requires different steps. So first of all, before you go for an interview, you need to research, you need to practice. You need to make sure that you know as much as possible, not only on the company, but also in the industry. What are the competitors, for example? So make sure you have a very, very clear idea which company you're applying for. Usually, when I was a student, I was looking for jobs. I look at the company and then maybe if they are listed in some exchange markets, then I even see the financial report. And I see, for example, if they're making money or not. If they're making money, maybe I can ask for money. If they're not making money, maybe I put myself in a different perspective and say, I can bring you money. So it really depends. But it's very, very crucial to know as much as possible from the company. And of course, you can use internet, you can use papers, you can ask friends. Different kind of research are welcome as long as we gather together as much details, as much information as possible. Someone in the same field, maybe different company, to try to understand, okay, what this company is doing, what it's looking for. Then, once you're ready, you know about the company, the pretty much confident, you can get this job, then it starts the interview pretty much. Body language. During the interview, you will have a certain behavior, and you need to try to behave yourself. Of course, most important is the first impression. First impression never lies, usually. So you need to present yourself in a very professional way. Posture, smile, confident, so they know that you're coming to get it. It's a kind of a challenge. So who's going to win the challenge? Even very, very easy things that you just think, oh yes, maybe I know that. But I can guarantee you, once you're there, sitting in front of the employer, you're not going to remember any of those. Because maybe of the situation. It's like, oh, I feel shy, I feel, I don't know, like not super much confident right now, my hands are shaking. So please, let's make sure that we have this in mind. Eye contact as well, not stare at the people, but not even like looking like this. Imagine if I do my seminar and I always look at the slides. Are you guys gonna all get sleepy? Voice. No rash, calm. Again, it's a kind of a symptom of like you're confident, you know what you're talking about, and they're gonna trust you more. Don't fake any accent. I have my Italian accent. I'm very happy, and I like it. So please, it's not really a big problem. Attitude and skills. Listen carefully what they say. Sometimes sometimes when I interview students, I don't even finish my statement and the student is already over talking. And then maybe there is kind of like misunderstanding. Oh, did you mean that? Let's try to listen what they have to say, and then it's our turn. It's very important to ask questions. If you ask questions, it means that you're interested. And you know again what you're looking for. So they will appreciate it. Then we'll see which kind of question we need to ask and maybe which is not really relevant. Try to avoid short answer, of course, because you need to feel that you know as much as possible. And of course be very open-minded, enthusiastic, passionate, happy, very positive, because that's exactly what an employer is looking for. They definitely don't want someone who's like, yes, maybe, I'm very happy to join this company. It won't happen. So be very, very enthusiastic. Because I tell you something, I have friends, they actually are HR managers of companies, and they tell me that the last question they ask not to the candidate but to themselves is like, do I really want to work with this person? It's very, very important. It's like the prime question ever. They put themselves, it's a bit selfish, but they're already in the corporation, you're not. You need to get in. Do I really want this person in? Maybe yes, maybe not. And then of course demonstrate your confidence, your positive, you're good. Pretty much questions that will be asked, it's about these 4 topics. Personal background, personality, work experience, if you have any, and about the job. It's important to know which job, which duties you're applying for, and if you're suitable for this duty. So keep in mind, that's the body of the structure of the interview you will be going through. And I think that it's very clear that the first of all is more about personal background and personality. It's because it's the icebreaker. Easy questions, everyone is happy, everyone feels more confident, and it will be good for everyone. And then later we go into more professional couple of questions, but I guarantee you at least 2 or 3 of those always happen most of the time because they want to know more and more about you. It's not just about these 8 hours you will be working together in the same office, in the same space. But there are a lot of activities, team building activities, after hour gathering, travels. Imagine you don't like the person that's sitting next to you and you need to go for a business trip together. How sad it will be. So they need to know more and more and more about you. So just let's go a little bit through some of those. You know, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do? Any studies? Do you get solving problems? A bit more into your profile. It's quite interesting. So how to, not to answer is to not talk about yourself too much. Me. If they're smart enough, they will know about you. So don't put you always in the first front line. But always try to analyze why you're there, what is even new, and especially what's the value that you can bring into this particular organization, the particular company. So again, try to stress, always go around these three points, which are very important, because if they want to know about you, they will know already. So you don't need to always stress that part. Personality. Just a bit more going to your personality, if it fits with the job position you're applying for. And within all these questions, you prefer to work as an individual, in a team, what gives you satisfaction, and especially, this question is actually quite important, how do you see yourself? Because it's not just one-time shot goal. It's not, I apply for this job, it's 1-year contract, and then I look for something else. Another thing is that HR managers, maybe this is not super relevant for fresh graduates, but they don't like when candidates, they shop, they kind of like, they say like job shopping around. It's like they spend 1 year in one company, 1 year in the other company, another year in the other company. It doesn't look good. For 2 reasons. Maybe you're not so good, so they don't want you in each company. Or maybe you keep looking for something different, which is good for your profile, but not for the company perspective. Because they need to invest in you, even if they send you for training. Most of the company right now, they are operating in different subsidiaries, in different branches. So maybe they say, okay, our headquarters is in London, we are in Macau. I want to send you 1 month in London for training, full training, because over there we have our best staff. They're not going to invest you their money just to have you for 9 months or 1 year. So the most important thing around all this question is always have a long-term plan. And they want to show they want to see you're committed to the company. So how are you going to see yourself from now until the next 5 years? It's important to see a progression in your career development, hopefully in the same company. So from an analyst, you become an associate, vice president, director, depends on different roles, different titles, different companies. But that's what they want to see. It's very important to have, and that's why at the same time, as I said at the very beginning, it's very important to understand your skills and which job are you looking at. There's so many jobs. Nature. Maybe not, depending on the economy, the cycle of the economy, maybe not so many jobs available. Many jobs nature. But I always believe that even if there are not so much availability, if you position yourself, you can always find something good for you. Show your commitment, please. At least next 3-5 years plan. And then maybe the company will have something for you. So when they ask about your personalities, don't pretend you're Superman. It's also good to try to show your weaknesses. Why? In business, we usually say that your weakness are your opportunities. If you're already super strong, there will be no more opportunities. And that's a lie anyway, especially at a young age. So don't worry, share your weaknesses. And yes, are you working on it? How you identify what you're doing in order to make sure that, yes, I know that I'm weak. I have these kind of weaknesses, but I also know that there will be no problem. I can pass. Maybe I need the company help, maybe I need some colleagues help, but it will be fine. Already I know that I have, so I'm definitely going to do something to make sure to overcome. Now it's like the most serious part of the whole interview, because the first two parts is about yourself, your personal background, your personal skills, your behavior. Now it's about the job. What do you know about this company, as I say? So here it's very important that not only we know about the company through our research, but also understand what's the duties that I'm required to cover if I would apply for this particular job. For example, we have companies in the consumer good industry. So I say, okay, if I talk about consumer good, I'm definitely looking for something related to marketing. Yes, maybe. But maybe that job, it was about controlling and finance. So please do research about the duties it's required in the job post, what they are looking for, and not just the company. And then of course, here are some different questions according to that particular duties you will be required to cover. How to answer? Never say your company is a good company. You know that if you're looking for a job, you might be applying for 2, 3, 4 different companies. So they know that you might say the same thing to other people, which is not good. Or maybe say, oh, I applied for this job because they have a good salary. Relocation salary, give me a car, a maid. No. And maybe like, oh, I don't know much. That's a good step for me to learn as much as possible. Because they don't want to teach you that much either. Better answer would be, I know what you're talking about, and I would like to contribute to this growth, to make sure that the company grows, and I want to make sure that I bring a value to this growth. And I can develop my skills as well, because I'm a talent. I have potential. I know how to deliver results. So I just need to put everything together in order to make sure that we're all going to the same success. We all bring a growth to the company together. So please do not come up with very short answer, but always explain. Make sure that we explain any details we can, because that's the most crucial time. If they get bored, they will go to the next question. Don't worry. But if they're willing to listen, I think that it will be good to spend some time. Why should I hire you? It's kind of like one of the top hot questions that students, fresh graduates, like, okay, maybe they take 1 or 2 minutes to answer this question. Please be very prompt. You know they're going to ask you this kind of question. So why should I hire you? Well, because I have value. And this is my strength. And you can see from my CV. No lying to you, it's here. And I know everything about your company. I know your company right now is not growing. Or maybe I know that your company has plans to expand to another country, and I would like to contribute and make sure that we grow together. How do you make a difference? that's definitely different. Because we are passing from an existing situation to something better. So it's different for the company, and you need to try to leverage, or they should leverage your values in order to make sure that they happen. And of course, that's about all your contributors as well. After this all overall of company details, questions, then of course, it's your turn. So kind of like they give you the microphone to you guys. So, okay, now it's your turn. Do you have any questions? Ask questions. Of course. Because it shows that you are more interested and you really want to get it. So of course, not all the questions. You also have a limited period of time. But please ask some questions. I can give you some example. What is your employee turnover? The average of age of the employee. If you don't know what turnover is, it's like pretty much that means that like if the company is keeping hiring and firing people, that means maybe sometimes it cannot be very sustainable. For you, if this company, corporation is not sustainable, maybe it's not good to be there. If you show your value, maybe you don't want that. You don't want to invest your time because it's their time and their money, but it's your time as well. And your money as an opportunity cost. Because maybe that year, instead of working for a company that after 8 months will fire you, you might look for something different and have even better salary, who knows? So make sure that now it's your time. So what's your turnover? Sometimes if you ask this kind of question, you challenge. You don't look like you're a snob person or you're arrogant or anything. You're just doing your job. You're just doing the right things. You're just showing that you're a professional. You know what we're talking about. Which kind of rewards you have for employees? How big is the team I'm going to work in? If I need to report to someone, who is this person? What's the background? And yes, daily task. That's quite important to know because, again, you need to know what you're going through. If they say yes, we want you, you need to be sure that exactly what you are looking at. Sometimes companies in this book, sometimes you might lie in the other part, analyzing yourself. Sometimes companies lie themselves here. No worries, great plan, 5 years, no one's going to fire you. We're just going to go for a big development and every single year your salary will be increasing 20%. I'll give you this, this and that. Maybe it doesn't happen. So please make sure that it's a serious, this company has a reputation. So make sure you're doing the right decision at that spot. Why? So first of all, well, here is just like a wrap-up situation. Okay, thank you for coming, and okay, we talk about this, and that pretty much. What's your value? What's the value of the company? If there is a good match, and of course, then you can talk about your enthusiasm. We'll be very happy to be together and try to contribute to the profit, to the growth of this company. Again, company is not looking for someone to play with, not looking for friends, looking for money. How much money you can bring to my organization? That's a key question that needs to go through. So, this is quite interesting part because in case the company decide to hire you, then of course there is a discussion in terms of how much money would you give me? Okay, now you like me and I like the company. How much money would you give me? So there is a salary negotiation. Well, sometimes can be long for 1 month, sometimes can be 1 day. Depending on your position, depending on your experience, depending on the company, how he's going to tolerate your behavior, it depends on yourself as well. So it really depends on so many different factors. But the most important thing is that we never talk about salary right at the beginning. Yes, I like the job, but how much money are you going to give it to me? I said, well, I don't know if I want you yet, and maybe I don't want you anymore. So it's very important to understand when exactly is the right time to talk about salary. And you have to talk about salary when you know that the company wants you. So you, after the interview and before, with your cover letter, with your resume, you understand that you position yourself in an exact point in which the company wants you. Once you get to that point, okay, do you want me? How much? That's pretty much what happened in a market for any kind of good. Always like when the demand cuts with the offer, then you find a deal. So sometimes the offer is more, sometimes the demand is less, or vice versa. So sometimes the company wants you so bad, sometimes you want so bad the job. So it really depends. 3 numbers in your mind, only in your mind. That's pretty much your ideal salary, the best, or how be the most happy person in the world if I can get this job with this money. And then maybe we have a more realistic number. I'm good, I'm still okay to get this particular salary. And then we have the bottom line. It's like kind of like, okay, after this I cannot even cover my expenses. So, okay, yes, it's important to develop myself and anything I can learn from the company. I still need to pay my rent, I still need to pay my expenses, my living. Maybe I cannot even contribute to my living if you give me this money. But it's important to have that kind of bottom line. Less than that you cannot really go. If you're looking for internship, it's a bit different. A lot of very good, no-paid internship, but they give you like a really, really good experience. But here we're talking about more particularly in a full-time job, in a much more long-term commitment. So once you have these 3 numbers, and you do not need to disclose to the employers, the employer doesn't need to know, then you see what they can offer to you, and you see if it's good or not. So do always tell about your value. I'm sure the company with me, after all this discussion, we can agree that we can increase 50% of the profit of your organization, if you get me. That's the value. That's what they want to see. They want to see numbers. They don't want to see. They want to see facts. They don't want to see promises. I can do that. Give me 1 year time. Give me 2 years time. 30% is going to be there. I know how to do it. And yes, also like if they're not going to have you, what's going to be the pain for them? In terms of, well, you know, if you're looking for someone else, maybe there won't be that much expectation. I know what I can do. Of course, don't be arrogant in that. Of course, keep in mind that many other people are applying for the same position. So you need to be the one. The only one. Never tell your bottom line, because okay, this guy is still gonna make it with the bottom line, and I want to save some money as a corporation. So please don't say okay, I can do it with 20K. And then don't go ahead with all this kind of calculation that you need to have only in your mind. But do it. You know, as a company, for example, when the company starts up, they need to put some money, they need to create a business plan. We do exactly the same thing. What's the bottom line of investment that I should have in order to start off my business? With less money, I cannot make it. So it's exactly same behavior, but different position. One is an individual, the other one is a corporation. That's why sometimes it's good to think of yourself more like as an input, as a product for that company. So hopefully you will come up with some good result. And this is the last step, which is a follow-up on what we've done during the interview. So after you say, thank you for coming, thank you for giving me this chance, we'll talk to you soon. It's also good maybe same day, overnight, to send a very short email and say, I really appreciate you giving me your time, very grateful for that. Finally, you guys understood a little bit more about my profile. I really want to get this job. If after the whole analysis you realize that that's exactly what you need. So please do that, because they make them think that you really want the kind of job. And if after the analysis they understood that you are a good profile for the company, they will definitely consider this follow-up interesting. Don't think it's kind of like a cheesy email of thank you. Don't. I think that if it's made in a very professional way, it's gonna help you guys to find what you really need. So yes, pretty much that's the seminar about our salary and negotiations and interview skills.
One more thing, actually, if student you want the slide, the presentation, we can send it to you. We have prepared some questionnaires, so later on just leave your email and we can email you the slide if you want to keep a record. Yeah? Is there any question?
Just to get the conversation going, I'm sure that many of you have been in an interview situation, okay? And you may have been asked a question that you didn't know how to answer, or you didn't know why you were asked that question. Okay. Does anybody have a question about that? Can you go back and think about an interview and you were really stuck? Why did they ask me that? Did I answer it properly? Because here's the opportunity to find out why it's asked and how to answer it. They all know how to do interviews.
No worries, I give you like 5 more minutes to think, give you some time. At this meantime, I will introduce more about our organization at the end. Just one thing, have you heard about us before actually? Have you heard about EF and HOT? Yeah. Yes or no? Yes, raise your hand. Only one? First time? Alright. Okay, just give you some introduction about our organization at the end. We actually called EF Education first. We are actually the biggest private educational company in the world. And we are founded in 1965, so we are 17 years now. And our headquarters is based in London at the moment, but we are founded in Sweden. And our office is in Hong Kong. We take care of Hong Kong and Macau markets, and we do a lot of different language and educational programs like study tour, overseas study program, and even MBA master degree. And we used to go to different universities in Hong Kong, Macau to give you some career talk, and we also organize some international exchange program as well. And I really hope that you'll learn a lot from this seminar from Mariano. Okay, just give you an overview about what we can do, because we, as I mentioned, we offer like short-term and long-term international program that you would get more international exposure, and which is good for your international career if you aim at that, and some internship experience as well, and also master degree. Okay, I give you.
Yes, I just would like to introduce one of my colleagues. She came with me. Her name is Jiao Xu. She's associate director for the master's program, and I think that most of you later on maybe might apply for a school overseas, in case you're thinking that. So I just want to have 5 minutes of introduction with Jojo, because she's actually was alumni, one of the alumni from Holt in 2010, 2010. So.
Okay, so hi everyone, very happy to be here. I'm Jojo from Hong Kong office, and I'm the representative of Holt International Business School. And basically, I'm taking care of all applications from Greater China area. So I can see a lot of Chinese face here, so I'm going to use dual languages, so English and Chinese. Okay. 大家好，我是来自这个霍特国际商学院的。然后呢，我们的办公室是在香港。然后呢，我们这边呢是大家所有的来自大中华区的申请都通过我们这个办公室来进行的。所以呢，we are launching a very interesting campaign right now. It's about interviews. It's called "You Are Invited for Face-to-Face Interview." 我们最近在搞一个这个面试的一个大型活动，也就是说呢 ，all applications get into our school, all students gonna be invited to come to our office in Hong Kong to have a face-to-face interview with one of our admission directors or one of our professors, and we're gonna pay for your fare tickets. 所以呢，就是最近我们在搞一个这个活动，就是每一个申请我们学校的学生呢，都会获得一个1个小时的1对1的面试机会，跟我们的这个在香港这边的我们的录取官或者是我们的教授有一个1对1的机会。然后呢，大家的这个从澳门到香港的船票呢，是我们学校这边来出的。所以说呢，可能这个大家对这个会比较感兴趣。那么其次呢，我会简单的介绍一下我们学校。So we are an American business school. We have 5 campuses in the world. We are based in Boston, San Francisco, London, Dubai, and Shanghai. 我们是一间这个美国的商学院，然后呢5个校区。We are offering 4 master degrees. It's all very business focused. We are offering Master of International Business, Master of Finance, Marketing, and Social Entrepreneurship. 我们4个专业。有国际商务、金融、市场学，还有社会创业学，这4个专业。So I think we have 2 strong points, and we have 2 special part of our school. First one is diverse. 我们是一个非常国际化的学校，然后呢，我们的学生是来自世界各地的。然后呢，可能跟其他的一些欧美的院校不太一样的地方是在于，很多现在的美国的院校和英国的院校呢，会有这个可能一个班级里会有30%的中国人、40%的印度人这样一个比例。But at Holt, we have the nationality capacity for each and every nationalities. 就是在我们学校的话呢，这个所有的学生呢都是来自世界各地的，然后每一个国家的这个国籍的比例都不超过班级比例的10%，所以是这样的，我们是这样的一种学校。然后呢，主要是为了扩展大家的这个国际化视野，然后希望大家能够从这个上课的氛围当中体会到这种国际化的氛围和世界的这种经济的一些转变。那么，the second part of our school, I would like to say more about our action learning project. 就是我们有一个叫 action learning 的一个项目。那么这个 action learning 呢，它是一个为期6周的一个 career development 的 program。然后呢，每一个学生 ，all the students who studied at Holt are going to have 6 weeks of action learning project at our Fortune 500 companies。就是我们学校呢，跟美国的这个几乎所有的美国的500强企业都有一个这个比较强的联络。那么每一个在 Holt 读书的学生都会获得一个在500强实习的机会。然后呢 ，all students who participate in our program gonna have the 6-week program with C-level executives. For example, CEO, CFO, CEO, Vice President, and all different kind of senior managers. 所以就是每一个学生都会有机会到500强企业里去学习，然后呢，去跟这些职业经理人或者是这个中上层以上的领导去亲密接触6周的时间，然后呢，这些领导会给你们写推荐信，会很大程度上帮助学生之后的就业。 我觉得这些呢是我们学校的这个一些亮点。那么我这边呢是代表学校，然后如果我带了一些这个我的名片，还有我们学校的一些手册，如果有任何学生对我们学校的这个专业和项目感兴趣的话，可以来之后来跟我们这边联络，好吧？
So thanks, Xiaoxiao. I think it's good that she's giving you more time to think about any question, any difficulties that you encountered during your interview. This is our last chance because we're in Hong Kong. You don't often see us around your campus. So please feel free to raise your hand if you really have any questions or any difficulty in the situation you had before. No? Okay, no worries. At this time, maybe I can distribute some questionnaire for you. So if you want the PowerPoint, the slide that you can fill in, and during this time, if you have a question, you can still raise your hand. Yeah, don't be shy. Yeah, you're going to be graduated and you're going to get a job. You need to be more like aggressive, more speak out, stand up for yourself.
Okay, so there are some questionnaires going out there, so if you'd like to get information about the slides, etc., please fill those out. Also, there's an attendance record going around, so if you haven't signed off on that, please do that. I'd like to thank our two teams, Paul International Business School and EF Education. Think about where you're going. Think about whether you want to get a job immediately. Think about whether you want to move back and continue education, whether that be here or whether that be somewhere else. Right? Because it all offers you different pathways to where you might want to go. Okay, and I'll see you on the 10th of April. Any questions? No? Okay, thank you. Let's give a round of applause to our team. Thank you.